Okay. We have made an outline for today. It's in our class in the Canvas course. So it's a course outline for October 22nd. If you want to take a minute and access that, I'm going to share my screen with you and bring it up on my screen.
Internet's not working.
Okay, just in after our discussion in our class last week, we did adjust the dates a little bit. I can't remember, was it Clitz or was it you that had the conflicts on first Thursdays?
It was me.
So anyway, we still kept that first Thursday on the 7th, January 7th, because end of term is the next week on the 14th. And it was just too late to start the class on the 21st, but we did change the March date and the April date here. So they're not on a first Thursday. So hopefully that will work. So if you want to, sorry, I'm not looking into the right monitor here. So that's what I'm looking to. I've got like 3 monitors open. So maybe I should, just one of them has a camera. Anyway, so if you want to put those new dates in, just shoot us an email when you check your calendars, if those don't work for you, but for now, we'll say those are our dates. Yes.
Can we register now?
I haven't received the registration link from UVU yet. I've sent them our material. So I will send that out to you as soon as he sends me the link. They're creating the class right now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam, for changing those dates.
Hopefully it'll work for everybody. So just some more classes that will become available. UEN classes that they teach, that'll open on December 1st. Just if you want to keep that date, they fill up pretty quick if they're taught right through UEN. We are offering another set of online classes that will start January 6th and run through the middle of February. So those are kind of the next opportunities for those. And something else to put on your calendar is, we'll be talking about more of this today. We are scheduled to host Utah Ed Chat, which you'll know all about that when we finish today on November 11th. Today, we're going to give you a choice board that has options. This is one of your choices, so it's not required. But if you're interested in doing that, just kind of putting that date out there for you early. It's a Wednesday night. And there was one more announcement that I forgot to put in here, so I'm going to put it in right now. Our next assignment that's due is the grant. What did we call that? It's not a proposal, the grant narrative. And that's due, is it October 29th, 22nd? Somebody.
Today is the 22nd.
That's true. I think it's the 29th. I think it's due next Thursday. I gave everyone a heart attack there for a minute. Not due today. It's due next.
It's the 29th.
That's what I thought. Due the 29th. And then the peer reviews will be assigned on Monday. Was that November 2nd? So that's, and I thought I put this somewhere, didn't I? Mandy, you saw me put it somewhere. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, there's an assignment and it's in the instructions for that assignment.
Oh, for the assignment. Okay, that's right. I didn't put it here. So it will show up. It's going to be automatically assigned. You'll have 2 peer reviews to do. And the link will show up in your to-do list on Canvas. Also, you can look in the assignment that you turned in, and up in the upper right-hand corner, it'll say peer review. So it'll just pop up for you, and it will have those 2 peer reviews to look at. So it's the reason we're putting in here, the point being that it's important to get that one in on time because Canvas is set up to automatically assign those peer reviews on the 2nd. Does anybody have a question about that assignment that we kind of went over last time? Christy, do you have a question? You're
Yeah,
muted.
I do. This maybe sounds silly, but I last night was trying to rack my brain over what I would even write a grant for. Like I feel like I have what I need, so I'm struggling. Like I don't know what I need.
Mhm.
I don't know what to write a grant for. I think I was Googling technology ideas for the classroom, things that could enhance learning in the classroom. And I'm not getting much.
So Molly, you teach special ed math? I can't remember.
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I teach resource math. That's correct.
And a secondary level, right? So
Yes.
anybody have any ideas for Christy? We'll help her out here a minute.
Like I thought about iPads, but I don't know that I can justify a class set of iPads because
and that usually that probably wouldn't be funded.
I'm doing what I was thinking, Chrissy, is, and I don't know, at a junior high level, we use iReady, and I have a classroom set of headphones, but with the way things are going, we want them to have their own headphones. And so the only thing that I have really come up with is I could write a grant that makes it so that every math student that does iReady has some headphones that have a little Ziploc tiny bag that they go in so that they can stay at the school. So, I mean, that's a little thing. And I was like, this is really tiny and whatever. But I thought, if somebody would price match that, I'm sure the Nebo Foundation would totally match that because it's not going to be a very expensive thing. So, I mean, like you said, you were Googling things, but I just thought, well, my kids need headphones to do this. So I think it could be little. So I don't know. I don't know if that helps.
We did buy headphones, but we have about 25 for our little resource department, but we don't have one for each child. So
they just are big on not letting the kids use what everybody else is using. And so that's where, because I've never done that, and so we don't use the headphones. And I feel like I would be able to do more interactive self-paced things if they did have headphones. And so I don't know. Anyways, just an idea.
And we recommend maybe not even just headphones, but headsets. So that if you used Flipgrid, so they have the microphone.
Yeah, that's what we got. We got the headsets with the mic.
So you already have that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily have to be technology, Christy. It's just the process of the grant. So if you can think of some manipulatives or, some kind of boards that your kids can write on, something like that, if that expands your thinking a little bit. Because really we're looking at process here of what it takes to write a good grant.
Okay.
And like some of the I think most of the resources that we gave you, except for the USEC grant, but the Donors Choose and the Nebo Foundation, none of those are technology specific. So
all right, that's helpful.
So we don't want you to write a grant. We're not writing a grant, right? You're just writing that narrative, but I don't want you to try to make something up that you don't really need. So if there's something else that's not technology, if there's some books even that give you a Mathlet connection, or if there, something that's helpful. The only thing I know that the foundation doesn't grant is anything that's disposable, like a workbook or something, but something that can be used over and over again.
Okay, hold on. It looks like Angela Harmon, maybe a swivel cam to record lessons to post online. Okay, what is a swivel cam? Because that would be awesome.
Let me see if I can have one here.
That would help me a ton. I mean, I bought my own iPad and I've been using the markup function and I bought a pen. And so that's how I've been recording little short videos to send to students that are in quarantine.
I think the swivel I have is over at the Summit Center. It's not here where I'm at right now. But what a swivel does is you attach your iPhone or your iPad to it, and then you put it kind of fits in, and then you have a lanyard that you wear around your neck that has the microphone. And what the swivel camera does is it tracks you with that, with your little tracker that you have around your neck. So it automatically will move. Like if you put the swivel like at the back of the room on a tripod or set it up on a desk or something, it will follow you and it picks up your microphone of you talking and not trying to pick up like the whole sound of the room. Does that make sense?
Cool. Okay, thanks,
So
Ken.
it's SWIVL if you want to look it up.
Okay, that's awesome.
So, and it really is a nice tool, even like a tripod or something, even to put, your iPad on if you're using that. But you can automatically turn it off and on. And there's a lot that you can do. So it is really a nice way to record your lessons.
Okay.
I
Thanks.
think
That's
a
awesome.
tripod is better. I mean, I recorded a lesson this week using a swivel for the first time.
Uh-huh.
And, where I had it at the far back of the room, because I had my mic on, you could hear it, but you couldn't see the board very well. And so a tripod sounds much better just to have it up.
I've used usually when I use it with a tripod. It works pretty well. And those are pretty cheap.
Can I ask another
Like an
question?
Amazon Basics one for $20-$30. Anybody else have any ideas?
I have another question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my mic wasn't working earlier. Okay. So along the lines of helping students that are quarantined, we're reading a few novels in our class, and I don't have enough to send some home with kids and still have them in the classroom. Could that be something? Maybe finding some recordings and just buying the license and having it available to all the students at the school? Is that something?
I would see that. Like here, I need some audio licenses or some digital licenses to go with my, to go with these
think
books.
of what to call them.
I'm pretty sure you can buy a CD of a book and you can make copies of it. I wonder if it's the same. If you buy the one license, you're allowed to make copies of it and share it with your students because you're just using it for your class. You're not.
They'll let you know how many, if you use, how many times you can reuse it. But
well, and the entire grade is using that same book, so I thought maybe even if it was accessible through the library system at our school,
so that's another thing, that it could be added to Sora. So because we can purchase books through Sora, then kids can check them out. So I mean, you might want to talk to your media specialist over at your school, Brianna, and see, because she's the one that probably orders those Sora copies, and you could price them through her, and then kids could get on Sora and they could check out the digital copies. So it depends on the book. So when you buy those through Sora, you can buy a certain amount of copies, or there can be unlimited checkouts, or it'll have a certain number of checkouts, depending on the book and how that's licensed by the publisher.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, those are great ideas. Because you know what? Like we need them now because we're in this weird, COVID period. But to have these things moving on is going to be really valuable too. We're always going to have kids that miss school or are going to go on vacation, or we might have a snow day, or we just want to maybe flip our learning a little bit and have kids listen at home and then come in. So having these things, and you probably put that in your narrative, that not only is it useful now, but you can see a way of using these in a blended environment as we move back into a more, regular school day. Does that make sense? Because I don't think you want to make it limited. It's like, I just need this and I'm just going to be able to use it, out of COVID. I think a lot of the things that we're using are going to have application beyond what
I kind of have that same question as a counselor. I don't have a classroom, so I'm not quite sure what to want. Other than if we just make a go bag for like all the counselors where they have a clicker and a mouse or I don't know what to do.
Because like what you do is you have presentations and you go to different classrooms and present them, right?
Yep.
When you do that, do you have to take over? Do you get on that teacher's computer or how do you do it?
Yep. I have to adapt to every single room I walk into. I usually just send them a link if I'm going to do a presentation. I send them a link and say, please have this open, and they do.
Yeah. I worked with Troy on this, Troy Anderson, because he was having the same problem. But I think maybe even in that case, a laptop would be helpful. Because you could
is that something we can ask for?
You could ask for it not through the foundation, but maybe one of these other grants. But if you laid out why that would be, that I don't know that the foundation would be open to that, but something where you could just go in and you could cast, if there's a way, if they're using air server, then you could cast your laptop with air server.
So it doesn't matter what they have. I can bring my stuff in and use it.
Right. But I think that would be really nice for you guys where you're coming in to do your presentations. So just an idea. Anything else?
Pam, I have one question about this assignment.
Yes.
In the Canvas module, I'm just having a hard time finding, I know we talked about this last week, but just finding the outline for the assignment. When I look on the Canvas module, just under the grades where the assignments are listed, it says write a technology grant, but then there's just nothing there.
Oh, okay, so let's look at, can you still see my screen?
Yes.
It. So if you look under the grant right here where it says, the technology grant, right?
That's perfect. Thank you. I was just looking in the
So it's right here. So this kind of gives you the narrative. There's not really a template for it, but if you look down here at the rubric, you'll see the things that we're looking for.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Good question. Anything else? I'm glad we brought that up. Okay. That's all that we have for announcements and going over some stuff. So we're going to go, this next document, this PLN module is actually in the module in Canvas. If you want to bring up your own copy of it here, scroll down to the professional learning. And this is the document that I'm going to be showing next is this PLN module overview. We've already done the discussion. And then this will be the assignment. So everything that you need for today plus the assignment is in this professional learning module. So here's the overview of what we're going to talk about today. I'm gonna move this out of the way here, just a minute. Looking at all my options, sorry. So when we talk about a PLN, you can read this. I'm not going to read it out loud to you, but this kind of gives you a synopsis. As you can see, it stands for Personal Learning Network. Some people call it a Professional Learning Network. Just going to show this little YouTube video that kind of explains it in like a minute and a half.
A personal learning network, or PLN,
can you hear this audio?
Describing the group of people and sometimes organizations you connect.
Yes.
Okay, I'll turn it up. Whoops.
Personal learning network, or PLN,
is it loud enough?
is a way of describing the group of people and sometimes organizations you connect with in order to learn from their ideas, their questions, their reflections, and their references. Your PLN is not limited to online interactions, but it is that online global interactive part that really makes it special. It is personal because you choose who's part of that group, because you choose if you want to lurk, just check out what people are saying, or if you want to share, because you choose when to do so and how to do so. You don't have to know the people in your PLN personally. Their contribution to your learning focus is what brought you together through the internet. It is a network because these people are in turn connected to other people and organizations that influence and enrich the interactions of your group through various collaboration tools, usually referred to as Web 2.0. It is focused on learning For instance, the learning I'm focused on in my PLN is professional development and education. I follow people who have interest in pedagogy, didactics, and technology, and I offer them some of my thoughts on the matter in various forms. How do you engage with your PLN? The tools vary from one person to another. My personal favorites are Twitter, YouTube, and the Educator's PLN. Your PLN is always on, but you don't have to be always on it. Take what you want, offer what you want, when you want, where you want it, and on whichever device you prefer. This keeps learning, or your professional development, always easily accessible.
Okay. Any comments on that? So what we're going to do today, the approach is we have this little choice card for you.
This podcast explains the importance of personal learning networks for educators.
Sorry, turn that off. If you click on this, it will open up whoops, that opened up. We didn't change that to template. If you go, this is probably view only for you. When you go into the module in Canvas, you can make a copy of the template, so you'll have your own copy. So let me just give you a quick overview of what you'll be doing here. Whoops, clicking too many buttons. So there's 9 choices. You just need to pick 3 of them. This is a Google drawing, so you'll just take your little X and move it over your X when you complete it. And move it back. Whoops, I'm just gonna. So that's the idea of it. And what Mandy and I are going, and they don't have to be in a row, so it's not really tic-tac-toe, just pick any 3. Mandy and I are going to take a few minutes here with you and describe what each of these options are. These are all tools that help you build and maintain this personal learning network. So you're going to to do 3 of these activities of your choice. And then when you're finished, right here, your instructions are here. You'll delete the instruction box, and then you'll download this drawing. This is a Google drawing as an image. So actually, we have a better way to do this now. I'm going to make a new video because you used not to be able to insert this into a Google drawing, a Google Doc, but now you can. So I have a little video of how to do this. This was the old way, but I'll show you the new way. Anyway, the old way was to go to File, then go Download as an image. And then you would take that image and put it onto a Google Doc. And then in that Google Doc below where you put the image, you would we'll ask you, you would tell us what you did. We'd tell you what to do for each one. And that's where you would put it at the bottom of the doc under the image. Is that making sense? Like if we ask you, for instance, on a podcast episode, it says list the podcast date and time and summarize what you learned. So you would put that in that document, Google Doc that you created underneath this image. Is that making sense to everybody? Thumbs up. The reason that we did it this way is if you created a separate drawing in the past, you couldn't put that directly into a Google Doc, but now you can. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you go to new, I'm just going to open up a new document, and then I'll just go here and go insert. I can do a drawing now, and I can do a drawing from my drive. That just a new feature in Google Docs this year. So we'll have to update our instructions. So I would just go from drive, and I would go, and there's it is right there. Select. You can link to the source. If you link it to the source, that means if I made any changes on here, it would update the changes for me within my drawing. So I might go in here and this will just, this is the link drawing option. So I could unlink it. I could open the source from right here. So anyway, you'll move this on to your document, and then anything that's fulfilling one of the requirements, you would just add underneath the document, and then you'll just submit this Google Doc for your assignment. Does that make sense? Yes, no, maybe so. We try to explain it here, but we'll change those directions because I just realized that, Mandy, just right now when I was explaining them. Thank you, Brianna. So we're just going to go through and explain these. We're going to have Mandy go first, and she's going to talk about podcasts and Wakelet and Google Keep, and then I'll cover the rest of them. So take it away, Mandy. I'm going to mute myself here.
So, if you just leave your screen like that for a second, Pam, that's going to be awesome because I can read it while I talk. The first two I'm going to talk about are the podcast subscription and the podcast episode. And I'm not going to demonstrate how to find podcasts on your devices, but if you need help with that, reach out and we can help you out. But the first one,
do you need me to stop sharing or do you want me to keep it up, Mandy? Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
There's a nice little article there about podcasts. And at the end of the article, it does have some example podcasts that you might want to subscribe to. And for that, if you choose that square, you're just going to summarize what you learned from this article. And you're going to subscribe to, I think it was 3 different podcasts. And there are some that UEN puts out called UEN Homeroom. That's a pretty good one. There's one that Matt Miller and Casey Bell do, the Google Teacher podcast. Those aren't listed in that article. That's why I'm kind of mentioning them. But you can, there's some examples. You can listen to podcasts. There should be an app already on your phone. You can use Spotify, iTunes. There's lots you can download. So that's the first square. The next one, now that you've subscribed possibly to 3 different podcasts, the next one is just listening to a full episode. And Pam already mentioned, to get credit for that, you just list the date and the time, not the time that you watched it, but the length of the episode, and just summarize what you learned on that one. And then for Wakelet, I might ask you to either share a Wakelet or let me share my screen. Is that okay, Pam? All right. And yeah. Give me. Oh, you're still muted, Pam.
Podcast. Does anybody have a favorite podcast that they already listen to, or they want to, if you could do that in chat, that they listen to?
Awesome, thanks. I forgot about that. I'm kind of watching the chat to see if anything pops up.
Oh, we forgot our poll.
Oh yeah, we had so many fun things and we're so excited. We'll
go back and do the poll. Yeah.
We'll do it after our break. Okay. How does that sound?
Yeah, Ditch That Textbook is a great podcast. Thanks, April.
Oh, yeah. Wakelet, if you've never seen it, there's a web version. There's also an extension that I'll show you in a second, but it's kind of a nice place to save. You can bookmark a lot of different things. I have random examples like the Carpenters, of course, but you can bookmark websites, YouTube videos, PDFs. You can bookmark other Wakelets. Like this was just an example Wakelet that I found. And then you can use those bookmarks in what's called a collection. You can put other collections in your collections, but it's pretty cool. We'll look at this fake one really fast. So you can add a background image, you can add a header image, a title, a subtitle, and then you can add things. I need to go to edit. You can add a lot of cool stuff. And you can do it right here from the website, or you can use the extension. So if I click the add button, I could paste a URL, which is what I've done down below right here. You can add text, which just makes a little text box like that box there. You can add YouTube videos, tweets. I already mentioned the bookmarks from your Wakelet. You can add images, PDFs, files from your drive, OneDrive. You can even record a short on Flipgrid and you can save that right directly into a Wakelet. So if you can also change the layout. But like this, I added using the extension, which I'll show you in a second, but there's websites, PDFs, I've got a YouTube video. You can rearrange the order and the layout. And then you can make these public, and you can also follow other people. I have to click done though, and my thumbnails are in the way. There we go. If I go back to my home, I can also follow people. So these are people who are fancier than I am that have way more Wakelets collections, but Judy has ebooks, digital whiteboards, Jamboards, slide templates, copyright friendly photos. So it's kind of fun because you can see what other people are doing. If you want, you can share with other people. You can collaborate and make collaborative collections. But what one really fun thing, and of course I can't open a tab that I want. We'll just come over here. If I wanted to save this as if it were a website, I can just tap on my Wakelet extension. Maybe it won't let me save a doc because it's not an actual.
Because I think you get to save that right from your drive. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on to me. So here's my technical difficulty. I can't pin my screen sharing, and I don't remember the shortcut to open a new tab. Is it Control?
Control T.
Yeah, I'm like, there we go. I must not have hit it very well. Of course, I'm gonna search Karen Carpenter because that's how I roll. And we'll just find a random website. I can click on my Wakelet extension now, hopefully. There we go. So I have lots of choices. I can bookmark it. I can save it to one of my collections. I only have one. If I had a group like collaborative collection, I could put it there. I can save just little bits and pieces of it. I can, yeah, I'm actually, well, I can just save it right like that, just so you kind of get the. So now if I go back to my Wakelet and refresh it, I should have that other website if you don't trust that it really happened. Is anyone using Wakelet and you want to share in the chat other ways you've used it? Or you can even share out other ideas.
I remember using Wakelet this summer, and I don't remember really what it is. So watching this, I'm kind of like, okay, it's like a Pinterest kind of. Is that a dumb way to think of it? I don't know.
No, that's a good way. Yeah, it's a way to just kind of curate, I guess, resources.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
And organize them. Yeah.
All right, I need to just go look at mine, and maybe that will help me.
Yeah, I could share mine really quick. Heidi says she uses it for bookmarks, pretty cool and handy. Can I share my screen for a minute, Andy?
Yeah.
So I'll share my Wakelet here.
There we go.
So you can see where these are some of the collections I have created. So as I find things that I want to save, I'll put in there. What I guess, yeah, it takes a while to load here because I have a lot of things.
So it's kind of like Google Keep, but a little different. I mean, it seems more. Google Keep seems kind of like a small scale. Where this seems like a much bigger. I don't know. Okay.
The way things that are, yeah, and the way that you add things, I guess, are a little bit different. Like when I go here, and if I open up one of my selections here.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
can't,
awesome.
the way it looks, and there's different views I can look at. So these are the different, it's more like we didn't really preface it very well, but I mean, it's one thing to go out and find new ideas, like we're always searching for new ideas, but how do we keep them? I know we talked about this summer when we talked about curation tools. My
Yeah.
problem isn't finding new stuff, it's knowing where to put it, in one place so I can find it again, and so I can share it with other people also. So Wakelet is one of those tools, not unlike Pinterest or Google Keep, which Mandy's going to show in a minute, of ways of, and you kind of have to decide what you're going to use for what. Like I kind of put my professional collections in here. It's easier than Google Keep. You can kind of like put tags on Google Keep or color code them, but the collection's a little bit easier to put things all together that are similar. I usually use Google Keep for lists, checklists, and maybe capturing a picture and putting it in really quick. Mandy, were you going to go over how to use it on your phone?
Oh,
I'll stop sharing my screen here. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, you're the one that has the app on your phone.
Yeah, if you put your app on your phone, you can also save things right from your phone using the little share button. If you're on the internet on your phone, there's that little box with the arrow that points up that shares, and it will really open up any app that's on your phone. So you could share to Google Keep, save it to Pinterest or whatever, but you can also save it right to Wakelet from your phone.
The
And when we
Wakelet
go,
okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do 3 things. Yeah, set up an account, go to wakelet.com, set up an account, add the Chrome extension, and then also I would add the app to your phone or your mobile device. And that will let you just save from anywhere where you're finding stuff. We'll let you just save it right to Wakelet, and then it all goes to the same place. So I'll go to the same collections. So, and Mandy was actually the one, I hadn't been using it to follow people, but I think as more people use it, and there's people out there that are really creating some good collections, that might be a good use also to follow people. So you are actually finding stuff as well as saving it. Just like you would follow somebody on Pinterest. I don't think you really can follow anybody on Google Keep.
Did you say it was an extension?
Yeah, it's a Chrome extension.
Mm-hmm.
So it will show up. I'm not sharing my screen anymore.
Okay, I'll go look it up.
It's just a little W. We can, Mandy can share her screen.
I saw it, Mandy.
Yeah. So you just go to Wake extension, Wakelet, Chrome extension, and
there's a link in that. Do I have
that Hyper? Okay.
Yeah, there's a link to the Chrome store right there.
Okay.
And it's just the little blue W.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And it will, the first time I used it, every time I opened a new tab, it was Wakelet, and it had a list of all my tabs, and it was like, hey, you want to save all your tabs? If you don't like that, I learned you can click on the little extension and you come to options and just turn that off, because I have my own new tab feature that I like. So I turned it off, but you can do whatever you'd like on that one. Awesome. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns on Wakelet? Not that I can see thumbs ups and thumbs downs, because I'm actually not. The other one that I was going to talk about kind of really quick, let me know if I'm going too fast or not slow enough. Google Keep, you can get to it lots of different ways. You can get to it from the waffle. You can get to it from also a Chrome extension. You can also get the app on your phone. But it's just another curation device, right, or tool. But you can save checklists, images, you can save right from the web. So you can paste websites in here. This was, I was just making a list. Hey, what are some good podcasts that I want to look into? Checklists. One cool thing is you can set reminders based on location. This is why I use Keep sometimes for more personal things, because when I'm near Walmart, I want it to remind me what I needed to pick up at Walmart, right? So and you can color code, You can have labels over here, kind of like folders. But I was going to say, you can drag these things right into a Google Doc, which is kind of handy, especially if you're leaving comments and you want to put your Bitmoji as a comment. You can save the picture over here. And then when you're in a Google Doc, and I promise I won't mess up your document, Pam. Well, I'm not going to promise, but
You're welcome to.
you can come over here on these add-ons on the side. And if I click keep, it just opens up tiny in this side menu. I didn't talk about pinning. I guess we can if you want to, but
I love that feature. In Canvas, I put something repetitively and I was typing it over and over. It was really ridiculous that I kept doing that. So I just went and I put it in my keep, and so I just switch over and copy it and put it. It's been so wonderful to have that extra little piece in the Gmail even. So
yeah, and if you pin them or color code them, you can find them really quick. And like this is a list. I don't know what all it says. I hope it's not inappropriate, but if I just drag it over into my document, it will be a bulleted list. So that's kind of fun and awesome. You can drag pictures over. Oh, that's probably going to be a huge one, but yeah, so it'll bring the image, any text that you had on there. What else was I gonna, I think that might be, that's like the super quick overview. And Pam kind of mentioned you can do the same thing with Google Keep using the mobile app.
You have your, like, go to your email.
Oh, yeah.
So you can go to your email, and if your email has something that you needed to do, you can open up Keep from your email and make a quick note of something to do or something to save.
Yeah. So you do have to open the email that you want to save. But if I click take a note, it kind of saves a link to this email, and I can type in here. I can give it a title. I can pin it if I want, so it'll be at the top. And then I hit done. And that's going to be available when I open up the add-on. If I come back to my big Google Keep, there it is right there. And if I click this, it's going to open up that same email in a new tab. It opens up my Gmail again.
So you can archive it and get it out of your inbox and just save it and, categorize it in Google Keep and get it out of your inbox and be able to get back to it. I don't think if you delete it, but you
if
could
you trash it.
But you could archive it. Yeah,
you can archive it.
Archive it and get it out of your inbox. Yeah.
Yeah. If you trash it, it does disappear after 30 days. The note won't go away, but the link will. So, yeah. I think that's everything I was. Are there any other questions? Oh, sharing. You can share these as well. So kind of that PLN learning and sharing from others. Jody shared that with me. Bryce shared this. Tech support we're all collaborating on. So anyway.
So April had a question. Does Keep open up in Google Classroom?
Ooh, Pam, that's a new question.
Yeah, it does not. As far as I know, it opens up in Google Slides and Google Docs, but not in Google Classroom. To the choice board, let me share my screen here just a minute. We don't really need to go through Pinterest. I know many of you use it. Hopefully you're using it for your education ideas as well as your personal things that you do. We've given you some ed tech Pinterest boards. So if you go on here, there'll be a link to them. So this would be if you want to choose this particular one. These are all different. This person has a bunch of different ed tech boards. So you can find one of those, look at them, and follow 5 of them. Or if you want to go in and find your own ed tech Pinterest board, that's fine too. Follow at least 5 that you're interested in, and then what you'll do underneath
It's sharing this.
Pam, are you showing us?
Oh, I am so sorry. I'm sharing the wrong screen. That's why Mandy is here. Stop share. I'm going to share again. Sorry, we'll start this over again. That's the one I want to share. Is that better? Can you see the choice board? Okay. Sorry. Okay, so the one for Pinterest down here, you're just going to go, this gives you a list. This particular Pinterest account has a bunch of different boards that have to do with different ed tech ideas. So the idea here is to find five, I think there's 3 of these, 5 of them that you want to follow, add to your Pinterest board. And then what you'll do at the bottom of your Google Doc, if you choose this one, is to list a new idea or insight that you got from each of those 5 boards. So you would just put down 5 things that you learned. Any questions about that option if you choose the Pinterest? We don't want you just to go and find stuff you already put. That's why I kind of put that link to new ones. So you're following 5 new boards that you haven't been on before. Okay. Feedly, let me show you my Feedly account. Feedly is a way to follow educational blogs. So let's just open up chat for a minute. Do any of you follow any blogs or look at certain blogs that have to do with your professional assignment? You want to list any of those in the chat here for a minute? Trying to open up chat here and see. Again, orchestrateacher.net. Is that your blog, Angela? So we should open that up and show off that blog to everybody. Maneuvering the Middle. These are math blogs. Great, Pam. So Pam, I'm going to pick on you a minute. So these are blogs that you follow. How do you know when there's a new post on a blog?
There's usually an email.
Okay, so you sign up to get email notifications when there's new posts. Okay, that's a great way to do it. Anyone else have any other blogs that they follow? I'm just going to share this with you right here. So I'm going to go back to my Feedly board. So this is called Feedly, and what it does is it will keep all your blog feeds in one place. So you can just sign up with your Google account. I'm going to sign in here. So I've signed in with my Google account, so you can create your account with Google. Then over here, I put the blogs into different categories. So these are all my ed tech blogs. These would be blogs on digital coaching, Google blogs, etc. And then when I go here on today, these are all of the new posts. So I can just scroll through and see what all the newest posts are on every blog that I follow. So it's just a quick way, instead of waiting for that email to come, and you can create a new feed, you just go down here and create new feed, and you just would put in a title. So if I were going to do, let me see here. No, actually, I'm going to do this different. I'm going to add plus a website, and then I'm just going to add. So I'm going to go to Angela's blog here. So let me grab Angela's blog again. Sorry, kind of talking through this. I have multiple screens going on here. Orchestra.
That one's actually not my blog, but
oh, that's not your blog. Okay, but we'll go to that one. What is your blog?
Mine is orchestrateacher.blogspot.com.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to go in here. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
So there it is right there. And I'm just going to go follow Now I'm following, and I can put it into any of my feeds here. I could create a new feed. Maybe I'm going to have a music education feed. And I'll create that, and it'll create a new feed over here for me. And now I can go in here. I can see that she's got 107 followers, and people who read this also read. So it directs me to other blogs that are similar to it. And I can go in here and open her blog right from here. Awesome. You should just get credit for this whole assignment just by having this blog, Angela. So credit for the whole class.
That worked for me.
Well, that's awesome. I'll look at that later because I really want to see what you're doing. So anyway, that's what Feedly does. So that's a little bit different. So it's just following your they're called RSS feeds. If you don't want to get on, stay away from Twitter, stuff like that. Most people that post on blogs, they'll post their blog posts to Twitter now too. So, I wouldn't maybe follow both, but it's a good way just to keep up. Like if I just wanted to see, people ask like, how do you keep up with things and what's happening? This is how I do it. I'll just scroll through. I can scroll through on my phone or on my iPad too. I just go to Feedly and I just kind of scroll through really fast. And if it also notice has a read later. So if I opened up this, so right here, this is a listening test for beginning street. Or is this your new one that you were talking about when we first got on?
No, it's not, but that one's good too.
And if I wanted to read this, I said, oh, this is something I want to look at. I could star it, or I could just bookmark it for my read later. So I'm going through and go, yes, 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 I want to come back. And then when I have a minute, I can look at them. This just gives me other sharing option. I could tweet it out right from here. I'm going to do that. Because we're going to go tweet, and I could tweet, opens up my Twitter account, and I could just tweet that. So it gives me a quick sharing option to share it out with other people. So that's Feedly. So if we look back at your choice board, you're going to create a Feedly account and follow 5 education blogs. List a link to a post in each of the blogs that you found helpful or insightful. So follow 5 different blogs, and then in your Google document below this choice board, you would just put 5 links to posts that you found. Any questions on Feedly? Thumbs up if that's new to you, or if you've even heard of it before. Everyone's hiding. No one has their video on.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. All right. Everybody must be relaxed. So, okay. All right, we're going to end with Twitter tonight. I know Twitter, has gotten a bad rap. Let me just say maybe the last 4 years. But Twitter, actually, I only use Twitter as a professional learning network tool. I'm not interested in finding out what somebody had for lunch or what they named their cat. I just am following kind of that chatter that goes on all the time. But it's a really valuable tool to find out kind of what's going on by following other people. I'm going to show you one way to use Twitter, or Twitter's being used, and that's called an ed chat. And we actually have a date to participate in an ed chat. We're going to moderate it. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up a tool that's called TweetDeck. If you don't want to use it, you can delete it later and not use it at all, but we're going to do a little class activity with it tonight. So hopefully you have a Twitter account. You'll want to be logged into the Twitter account, or your Twitter account, or it will ask you to log in. I am going to log out right now. Let's see if it'll let me log out. So I'll see what you see. Log out of Twitter. Okay. So just go to tweetdeck.com. Oh, sorry, it's .twitter.com. I have a link in our outline. So you're going to log in with your Twitter account. Hopefully you set up your Twitter account and you know what your username and password are.
So is this an app also that you can download TweetDeck on your phone, or do you have to go there online?
You can't put TweetDeck on your phone, I don't think it has it out. Let me just check my phone right here. There's another app on your phone. The one that you would use is called Tweetcaster or Tweetbot, but it doesn't have
It's not TweetDeck. So you actually have to be
on it. Yeah.
on a,
I'll show you. It makes different calls. I'll show you how it works.
okay.
And I'm going to log in here with my Twitter account, and it kind of knows what my Twitter account is. So it's going to log me in. So I am going to give you a minute to log in to TweetDeck. While you're doing it, there's also, you can add the extension. It looks like this. You can see I've got my extension right here. My annotation tool. I just saw there's an annotation tool. I want to see how that works. Never mind.
Can you get to TweetDeck just from your Twitter account on your phone?
No, it doesn't work on a phone. It's just going to work on a Chromebook or with a browser, with a web browser. I don't even think it will work through a browser on your phone. So you've got to be on a Chromebook or a desktop or a laptop.
I did it on my phone.
You did it on your phone? Did it work?
I went to tweetdeck.twitter.com and it
did bring it up on your
log in with my information.
Well, good to know. Good to know. I just haven't used it on my phone before. So that's using it through the browser. There's also a Chrome extension. I'm going to close some of these tabs here. There's a Chrome extension that's a TweetDeck. And if I open that, it will just open TweetDeck for me and it will launch it in a new tab for me and it'll just sign me in. So I just have that up there. It's not saving anything to TweetDeck, but it's just opening it up for me. And let me show you how TweetDeck works and why I use this rather than going in to Twitter. So what you do is you can set up different columns, and the column will have a variety of choices. So right here, and I can also tweet from here if I want to send a tweet, but I'm going to click over here on the left side. I'm going to add a column. So I can put home. If I put home, that's my Twitter feed. So I'll just select, I have 2 Twitter accounts. This one is my personal one, but I don't use that very much. But I could have them both on here if I wanted. So this shows with the people that I follow my feed. Like I can just click through here. These are the different people, and I can retweet or save something or favorite by just going. So these are all the EdTech people I follow. So that's my own feed. So that's my home. If I don't want to have this column, I just click this little settings button and I can remove it. So I don't have that column anymore. I can search for a user. So let's say I want to follow at Matt Miller, but I don't think that's his account. But let's see if there is one. He has a different, so it's not giving me that one. But if you knew who the user was, let me just see if I'm going to add a different column. I can the user would be like me. So this just actually shows my tweets. So this is my feed, what's coming in from people I follow. These are things that I've actually tweeted out. So if I wanted to go back and find a tweet that I had sent. So I'll remove that column. So that's kind of the difference between home and user. Home is my feed. User, I've got 2 user columns there. User is anything that I've tweeted out. What I want to have you put in is you're going to search, and you can do this right from here, this little search bar, search Twitter. We're going to search for a hashtag. And the hashtag right here, so put in your hashtag, and we're going to go to USET EdChat. So this is, I'm just going to show you, we had one last night. I'm going to show you what an EdChat looks like, and I'm just going to hit my search, and it brings up a column. No recent tweets. Did I put that in wrong? Oh, it's not USET, it's Utah EdChat. Sorry, getting late. I'm going to remove this one. It's not USET EdChat, it's Utah EdChat. UT EdChat. There we go. So that's the one I want. So, whoops, instead of hitting that, I'm just going to hit enter or search, and it's going to make that column for me. So what this does, it just brings up every tweet that somebody put this hashtag in. So if somebody tweeted something out and they added Utah EdChat, those are the only things that it kind of filters out my Twitter chat, my Twitter feed, to only bring up the ones that have those hashtags on it. So I'm going to, if you can try to do that, so go over here to your search, put in hashtag Utah EdChat, and then just hit the search bar. It will create this column for you. Am I going too fast? Are you able to do this on your computer? Are we doing okay? Because we're going to have a little, okay. Brianna, thank you for the feedback. If you scroll down here, or you can look on my screen, you can see the EdChat that we had, last night. I'm going to start down here where these slides start. So back, I think, notice last night who was on this EdChat, Sid Dixon, who is a superintendent of our state superintendent, hopped into our EdChat last night. So I'm just looking for question. Oh, that was question 7. Scroll. Okay, so you can see here when she started this EdChat, I'll go down a little further. There's some funny ones here. Okay, she put it here like 5 minutes before. So Danny was the one that was hosting this chat, and she just put this with the tag on it. You said EdChat. This is the topic of her EdChat, was battling teacher disillusionment. And then her first question was right here. I'm going to just click on it. It says, this image is used to represent what new teachers feel during different months of the year, but I think it applies to experienced teachers too. And we kind of have this dip. And she's saying, like, right now we're in this disillusionment phase. So her first question was, choose a gift that best represents your emotions during the month of October. So you can see people are replying. This is kind of a way of checking into the EdChat. If they put Utah EdChat as a hashtag in their tweet, it shows all of the different responses that people that came on last night. They just said, oh, this is going to happen at 9 o'clock. I'm going to look at the questions, and then I'm just going to put Utah EdChat in my reply. And since I'm looking, I have it filtered for Utah EdChat, those are the only chats that I'm seeing. So you can see the different responses that people had. Trying to find my favorite ones here. Going into hyperventilating. Anyway, you kind of see how it works. Now notice she said that was question 1. Here's question 2, I think. I know she gave a little, let me find her question 2. Oh, this was question 1. She puts a Q1. Let me see. Here's her question 2. She puts question 2 here. What changes do you make in October to continue to receive buy-in from students? So she's put this question here. And then as people reply, it's hard to keep up with it because it's going pretty fast. So he's saying this was A1. So he put A2. That means that he's answering question 2. Engage with something that I love teaching. Like he's sharing what he did. Here's somebody else's A1, but that should have been A2 because that's what the question was. But you get the idea. The person that's moderating puts in the questions, label them with the Q, and then the people that respond put in the answer. This is the answer to 2, and that's kind of how you follow it. So in real time, these are just coming up. You can see these are happening. And then you can like people's responses. This, it went up too fast, but you kind of get the idea. So we're going to have a little mock EdChat tonight. So I've created a hashtag that is 5810. So I'm going to do my search bar again, and I'm going to put in hashtag, hashtag 5810 chat. That is going to be our hashtag for our little chat, Ed chat tonight. I'm going to click the search button, and here is our hashtag 5810. So try that. Try to go and make a tweet. Just checking in. 5810 chat. And if I tweet that, in a minute, it should show that up if I put the right tag in. Jonathan's there, yay. Even if you're not in, you couldn't get into TweetDeck, you can just get on Twitter on your phone or on your thing, and you can tweet from anywhere and just put in the hashtag, and then there we go. Angela's there, Clarissa's here. Okay, that's what an Ed chat looks like. So I'm going to put a question for you. I'm going to tweet. I'm going to add an image here. This is your task. You're going to come up with a quarantine band name. It's how you feel, how you feel. Well, you'll see it when it comes up here. And I am going to put 5810 chat on here.
Okay, I don't like Twitter because it's very overwhelming to me.
Okay.
And I don't know what's going on. Like there's so many things that I have open in this tweet deck, and I was able to do the.
Thank you for bringing that up. Who is talking?
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. Crystal, if you have all of these tabs up, go to this little setting and just go remove.
Okay.
You could remove any columns that you don't want, because usually, so all you do is want to make one column that says hashtag 5810 chat.
Okay, so
you're going to do it over here, right under where it says tweet. You're going to put that in your.
Yeah, so I have that typed in.
Okay.
And how do I add? I
go
feel
over
so
here.
Old.
Go over here and click tweet.
Oh, I have to type something there.
Type something there, and put the hashtag in. You can add images.
And it's not 5810 chat. It's just 5810.
It should be 5810 chat.
You have to put chat at the end.
Yeah. Just because that's what we named that hashtag. That's what the hashtag that I'm just asking everyone to put in here. So this is what we're doing. This is the name of your band, how you feel, the color of your sweatpants, and the snack item you ate in a day that you thought would last for a week. That's the name of your band. So come up with the name of your band and tweet it into our Ed Chat group.
How do you feel?
The Tired Grade Trader Joe's Halloween JoJo's. There we go. The hungry pink pretzels. You came up with a good one earlier today, Mandy.
It's like, how you feel?
The Tired Green Chips and Salsa. There we go. And these are your band names. All right.
I still don't think that I did anything right. So I don't know.
Oh, okay. You're there. You said you figured it out. I see it.
Oh, okay. Good. Then I did something right.
You did it right. It takes sometimes a minute for it to show up in the feed here. Doesn't automatically show right away. For some reason, it takes a minute for it to.
Hey, Pam.
Yes.
Question for
Yeah.
you. So I can click. I can click the little. I can't even think of what that is. The little bubble, speech bubble. The little speech bubble underneath.
Right, and you can do a direct reply.
Okay, or I go over and hit tweet, right? One or the other.
And then you just hit tweet. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't realize you could do it 2 different ways. So
yeah, you can do direct reply. You can like it. You can retweet it, or you can copy. You could send this out, copy a link. You could follow that person. There's a lot you can do. You can mute or block that person, which is also always a nice tool on Twitter.
Thank you.
So I know this, I resisted Twitter for years. I promise, April, I did. Because it just had this bad connotation to it. But when I learned how to kind of just control the thing and be able to see the things that I wanted to see and not everything else that was out there. And when I found it does have quite some good educational content on it. So we're not saying you have to do it. That's why we gave you a choice board, especially when it comes to these social media things, because we know some of you are comfortable with, we don't want to force you into using social media that you're not comfortable with. So if this is something that you don't want to do, we're certainly not saying, we're just kind of putting it out. The stressed gray Oreos, love this, love these all. What the heck, maroon turtles. Overwhelmed blue Reese's pumpkin. Oh, I keep on thinking like, are there blue Reese's pumpkins? But we had to put we had to put, yeah, okay, the over it. Red M&Ms. Okay, I heard something about red M&Ms, Wendy. Okay. So there you have it. That's kind of what an ed chat is. I kind of want us to participate once we got the idea of it. And I showed you what that ed chat was, the Utah ed chat. So I think that's all that, let's go back. If you go back to the PLN board, so what you would need to do, there's 2 of them. You could participate in any ed chat using TweetDeck. So this is a list of all the ed chats that are out there. Whoops. This is the wrong one. I'm sorry. I'm going to put another link in there really quick. This is the one. Okay, so you can just go by, here's the date. What I've done in classes before is we found one that was actually going on, but in our time zone at 5 o'clock tonight, there wasn't really an ed chat that was going on that looked interesting. Oh, there is the What is School chat. That is a good one. That wasn't in last night. We could have done that. So we could just pop in here right now because it's 5:36. So I'm going to go, what is school? So I'm going to go back to TweetDeck and I'm just going to put in hashtag what is school and we'll see what's going on in their ed chat right now. There's A4, right? That meant that was to question 4. Here was question 4. Pigpen requests that you share an example of a time when you trusted your intuition about an education matter, rather accede to the will of the majority, and what was the outcome? So people are going to react to that, right? And so that's just an example of how you would find an ed chat. Where is that? Like something that might be interesting to you. Here is the official chat list. We have our Utah Ed Chat in here. So you might just scroll through, find an Ed Chat that might be interesting to you, find out when they are, and just hop into that Ed Chat. TweetDeck, I just like using it is because you can filter it so you're only seeing that hashtag. You're not seeing all the rest of Twitter. So this would be that you can go, and I'm going to change this link. Just a minute. Let me grab this link really quick. Copy will go in here. Sorry to do this on the fly, but you'll be happy. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So there is. So anyway, name the list of the ed chat, the date you participated. There's usually a chat archive if you can find it, and then something that you learned. And I'll show you archives in a minute. Your other option is up here with the Utah Ed Chat 1 is to participate in Utah Ed Chat on this date. We're going to moderate the discussion, which means I'm going to moderate the discussion. You don't need to worry about it. You're just going to help me come up with the questions. So you've got some ownership, and we'll set up an Ed Chat. And if you want, all you have to do is at least make one tweet to get credit for that assignment, to be present, and you'll even know the questions in advance. So just to be brave and to get into that group and make one contribution, one tweet. So those are your choices with that. So last thing, any questions just about what ed chats are? I'm just showing you one way to use Twitter. If you're interested in learning more, you can go to my Twitter account. I'm at Pam Turley 55. Let me bring up my. I think you could just click on somebody, it would bring up their profile, I think. And you can go in here and go to, this says edit profile. Usually you would go to that person's profile and you can read about them, like what they do. You can go through and maybe look at their tweets, say, oh yeah, this person puts out some good stuff. So maybe this is a person that I want to follow. And then you would just click, yeah, I'm going to follow that person. So let me find out. And then you might also want to look at, if you go into somebody that you know that you're going, that, let's see. Usually will say who I'm following. But let me go into somebody else's and not my own, because that's kind of, oh, I'm following these 483 people, you could go in and see who I'm following and say, oh yeah, Pam's following these people, maybe I'll follow some of them. Like here's Matt Miller with this textbook, this how to do green screening. So you could go and find somebody else that you really like to follow and look who they follow and then follow them. So if you want to explore it further, that's one way to do it. Okay, for the last thing tonight, we're going to put you back into breakout rooms. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I'm going to put a link in chat. The link in chat is going to be, let me share my screen. I lied. I'm going to share this back just for 1 minute. So on our USET page, there is a link to Utah Ed Chat right here. And I'm going to put this link in our chat so you can get there. So this has a link of all of the chats that we've had so far in 2020. So except for, we're not quite caught up in October. So let's say I wanted to look at something for school activities during social distancing. This was last May. So I could go into the archive. And this is just all the tweets that were from the archive of this Ed Chat. So I could actually go back in and see all the ideas. There's Eric Evans. Brooke Anderson used to teach in Nebo. So we got some Nebo people in there. So that's what the archives are. So or you could go to, sorry, I'll go back. Notice that those are archived on Wakelet. So that's another thing that Wakelet can do is archive Twitter chats. Here's one on the Triple E framework. It looks like we didn't archive that. And that's one that Greg Puckett actually did. Here's Ed Chats from all the way back from when we started doing them in 2014. So you can see all of those archives. Anyway, what we want you to do is go to this page and kind of in your group, kind of explore just what some of the topics have been. Maybe this year you could go back a year or two And we want each group to come up with 2 ideas, just general ideas. They don't have to have the questions of what we could use for our topic.